Hello again. I'm Mr. Graves, and this is a horn player's guide to notes, drills, and tunes. Today we're going to be covering Unit 2. Before we get into the new material in Unit 2, let's cover the notes we learned in Unit 1 first. I'm going to play them and you play them back. Now I'm going to move through this unit pretty much like I would in a class. I'll be repeating things, but feel free to go back and rewind and play through some of these things again. Playing a horn or any brass instrument requires repetition and listening and matching. Feel free to do that as much as you need to. Let's start with a quick review, shall we? In Unit 1, we learned 3 notes: A, G, and F. Let's play each of those notes first. I'm going to start with F. I'll play, you play, I'll play, you play. Don't wait for me to ask. Let's just go back and forth. Here's F. Good. Next I'm going to play G, which was an open note, and get rid of a little water, which we learned how to do in our first lesson. You don't want a slurpy instrument. Here's G. U. And then A. 1, 2, thumb if you got it. Once more. Okay, so that brings us to our new notes that we're learning in Unit 2. The first one is on the 3rd line of treble clef, and it's called B flat. Now we say flat because of that little lowercase italicized B that's in front of it. That's a musical symbol called a flat sign. It identifies that note as a specific one, as opposed to one that didn't have that. So we say B flat. When you see it in the music, you'll see the flat sign first, so you know that it's coming. Now B flat is also fingered with the first valve. But unlike F, we're going to blow a bit faster and make our embouchure a little firmer so the hole's smaller. If you have a thumb rotor, add the thumb rotor and the first valve for this note. Try again. Your turn. Use really fast air. That might take a few tries to get that note. If it sounds lower than mine, your embouchure needs to be firmer and the air must be faster. Make sure the corners aren't coming loose. C is the next note, and C, like G, is also fingered open valves. If you have a thumb rotor, you can use the thumb rotor. Let's go back and forth. Now, sometimes when you play open notes on the French horn, you're going to hit a lot of different notes. And that's also a good way to find if you're playing C. For most of you, C is the 4th open note you can hit. I can find some low open notes. That 3rd one was G. The next one up is usually C. Although you can hit this little sound in between. Speed the air up to get C. Okay, drill 7 and 8 are pretty simple. A whole note, a whole rest, a whole note, a whole rest. drill 7 on B flat, drill 8 on C. Make sure when you have a whole note, you play all the way up to beat 1 and stop on beat 1, not before it. Okay? Let's try drill 7. Here we go. And 1, 2, breathe. Breathe deep. Good. This time, let's try this. Play in reverse of me. I'll play the note and then you play it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Drill number 8 does the same thing, but with the note C. Ready? Fast air. Let's do it together first. 1, 2, breathe. Good. Let's do it me, then you this time. Sometimes if the note changes right when I started, probably I didn't set this embouchure right away. Make sure it's set before you start playing. Here we go. Me, then you on drill 8. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. You. Okay, so let's go on now to drill number 9. And drill number 9 uses B flat, then C, back and forth. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, breathe. One more time. And 1, 2, breathe. Drill 10 does the same pattern, but this time A to B flat. A to B flat. Notice when I go A to B flat, I can leave the first finger down. You don't need to lift them up in between. If you have a thumb rotor, both of these notes use the thumb. Here we go. Drill 8. Drill 10. 1, 2, and 1, 2, breathe. Let's do it again. And 1, 2, breathe. Okay. Drill 11 does the same thing with G to A. If you're using a thumb rotor, you need to take it off for G, but you can use it again for A or not use it. Works both ways. Here we go. Number 11. 1, 2, breathe. Let's do it again. And 1, 2, breathe. Did you notice notice what I did? I had the wrong fingers down to start, didn't I? And the horn will do exactly what you ask it to do. If you ask it to play the wrong note, it will. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, number 12 is F to G. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. One more time. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, now a challenge I have for you on your own at home is to try to play 9 all the way down to 12. If you have trouble starting on those high notes, try going the other way. Play line 12, then 11, then 10, then 9, and work your way up. Practice makes better, so try it a few times. Let's move on to some tunes, shall we? The more you go through these tunes, the easier they're going to get. What I suggest is, on your own, you go through and clap the rhythm. Once you can comfortably clap the rhythm, try naming the notes as you clap the rhythm. Now you're going to notice on this page that we've stopped putting the names on all of the notes. Only the first few times you see the new notes will you see the new names. After that, you have to remember what's their location. B flat on the 3rd line, C on the 3rd space. Okay? So we're going to play through each of these songs twice. I'll stop after each time. This is also a good time to get that water out, right? If you hear particular gurgling when you're opening just your first valve, depress the valve, gently pull that slide out, and dump it. That's usually the other place where you're going to gather water. Push the valve again, carefully put the slide back in. If your slides don't move well, they might need more grease on them. They should move very easily. If they're stuck, ask your director for help. If that's me, ask me. Okay, so the first one is Good King Wenceslas. Not too fast. There's no points for speed in music, only for playing well. Let's do it well. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's try it again, shall we, now that we know what the tune sounds like? Good rule of thumb is, if it doesn't sound like the song, you're not playing it right. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now you may have noticed that some of my notes maybe didn't sound perfect the first time through, and pretty logical that yours might not either. But you notice that I kept going, and that's what I want to encourage you to do when you're practicing playing through something, is keep getting the rest of the notes. In the same way that maybe a soccer player, when he loses control of the ball, he's not going to stop playing. He's going to get control of that ball and keep going. I want you to get control of the notes and keep going too. Let's try Ode to Joy next. Again, on your own, I'd recommend clapping and counting, naming the notes, fingering and naming before you play. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's try it again, shall we? See if you can make your quarter notes sound smooth, even though your tongue is going ta, da, 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 and interrupting that airflow. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope yours was closer that time. Feel free to go back, do it a bunch of times, do it slower if you want. Make sure your rhythm is nice and steady. I recommend using a metronome, much like I am. If you just Google the word metronome, one pops up. Mine right now is set to 80 beats per minute. That means if you counted a minute's worth of time, you would have 80 beats in that time. That's a good speed to start at, but if you need to go slower, set it slower. Okay, let's do the next tune. Love Somebody. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's some big jumps in this one, going from F to A to C, and you've got to really move the air to make sure those happen. I'm going from a medium speed air to my fastest speed air, okay? Let's try the song one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. Sometimes you'll hear the note change if, in the process of tonguing, if I allow my embouchure to change, you can hear that note, skip around a little bit. The tongue and the lips need to work completely separately. And make sure that the lips stay set for where you're aiming, and the tongue just interrupts the air. Don't let the lips move, or you get that sound. And like you can see, it happens. Okay, there's one more here, orally. Let's see how smoothly we can play orally. Some jumps in this one. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Not as many low notes in that one, so you got to keep your air moving. Should we try it one more time to finish up? Let's do it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Well, I think the more you hear these tunes, the easier they get because you know what sounds you're aiming for. And I hope that as you're practicing, you're starting to get a sound in your head of what sounds you're aiming for here. But it really starts here, listening to the song and what it sounds like. That's why I'm playing along with you on these videos. I hope you're finding it helpful. In the next one, we'll move on to Unit 3. Always go back over Unit 1. Once we're in Unit 3, go back over Unit 2. Good musicians are always practicing the basics. See you next time.